For Edmonton Riverbend.
Mr. Speaker, grocery prices continue to soar and gas prices are hitting a record high. That means parents can't afford to pay their bills, feed their kids, and they're terrified where the next paycheck will come from. The Liberals' answer to this, Mr. Speaker? Just cancel your $13 a month Disney Plus subscription. That's how out of touch this Prime Minister truly is, Mr. Speaker. So instead, will this Prime Minister stop his inflationary spending and stop raising taxes?
The Honourable Minister of Tourism.
Mr. Speaker, we know that Canadians are going through a tough time. We are all in a global inflationary cycle, and we're not going to take any lessons from a member opposite whose leader advised Canadians to invest in crypto as a hedge against inflation. Totally irresponsible, totally reckless. It would have ruined people's savings. I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, the compassionate approach is to double the GST credit, to permanently eliminate interest on student loans, to make sure that $500 top-ups go to people who need it for housing, cutting childcare fees in half, and providing dental care to 500,000 kids. That's the compassionate, responsible thing to do, Mr. Speaker. It's what we're doing.
The Honourable Member for Edmonton Riverbend.
Mr. Speaker, even future Liberal leader Mark Carney has confirmed that inflation is homegrown. Why won't this minister? Inflation has reached the highest rate in 4 decades. And now, Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklin has stated, and I quote, "Increasingly, the inflation we're seeing in Canada reflects what's going on in Canada." Canadians cannot continue to afford this NDP and Liberal coalition. So again, will this Prime Minister stop his inflationary spending and stop raising taxes?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, moms in Riverbend who received the CERB did not cause inflation. Neither did businesses that received supports during the pandemic cause inflation. If our investments in Canadians had caused inflation, Mr. Speaker, we would be the only country in the world with inflation. Germany, the EU, UK, Australia, the United States, all with higher inflation. Mr. Speaker, what are we doing on this side? Investing and supporting Canadians who need the support when they need it the most. They don't like it, Canadians do. That's why we are doing what we're doing.
L'Honourable Député.
The Honourable Member for Bellechasse-Lévis, Mr. Speaker. Today we've learned that the Liberal inflation is caused by Liberals and it's making Canadians poorer who have to choose between feeding themselves, finding a house or travelling. This Liberal crisis is hurting everyone. Some people are skipping meals, people go to food banks, students have to go to shelters, Mr. Speaker. The Liberals are still taking money from Canadians to pay what? For their own wastage. Because, will they finally stop increasing taxes, Mr. Speaker? The Honourable Minister.
Because the Conservatives repeat something 3 times does not make it true. Mr. Speaker, let's focus on the facts. When it comes to supporting Canadians, on this side of the House, we have been there, and the Conservatives have voted against supporting Canadians every step of the way. When it comes to inflation, Mr. Speaker, Canada is lower than the United States. We're lower than the European Union. We're lower than many other countries in the world. That doesn't mean it's not an easy time for Canadians right now, but we are there to support them. We're continuing to do that, and we just hope the Conservatives would join us if they truly cared about Canadians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.